Hello everybody and welcome to this session of Planning Your Italian Vacation with ItalyForReal.com. My name is Rem Malloy. I'll be your instructor this session. I'm the president and co-owner of ItalyForReal.com. Welcome and let's begin. We're going to talk about some preliminary planning ideas that you need to consider when planning your trip to Italy. We're going to talk about an Italy overview. We're also going to talk about pre-trip planning tips. We're going to look at passport and visa requirements for traveling to Italy, as well as weather and when to go, and understanding the euro and some money-saving tips in this first lesson. So let's take a look at Italy. As you can see, we have the Italy map here, and it looks like a large country, but it's actually not. In miles, it's about 800 miles long, a little bit more. Width, about 100 miles, maybe a little bit more, but fairly small. So when planning your trip to Italy, you may be able to see more than you originally considered. Beginning your planning to go to Italy, you're going to want to consider a few things. You're going to plan your trip at least 6 months in advance. And the reason for this, it's mostly for viewers in North America. And that's because people that live in Europe that can drive to Italy, say from the United Kingdom or Austria or Switzerland or Germany, they're scooping up those wonderful boutique accommodations that we always dream of, right? So you want to plan enough time out so that you have a wide selection of great places to stay. And that's why we recommend at least 6 months out. We want you to use a professional and not the internet for planning your trip. The internet is a wealth of information, but we recommend using it for information that will help you on the ground, like museum times, holidays, weather, things like that. You need a professional that can help you with the on-the-ground details for planning a trip efficiently and without spending too much money. A lot of times people do it on their own, they get lost, they overspend, and their route may not be as efficient as it can be. The professional that goes and travels to Italy, like the ones at ItalyForReal.com, we know what we're doing, we spend time in Italy, and we can transmit that knowledge to you when planning your trip. So please use a professional. Get a good map of Italy. That's going to be one of the first things you're going to do when you begin planning. Go to the store, get yourself a great map of Italy. We like Michelin maps. Put it up on the wall and use some stick pins to give you some ideas of places to travel. That'll help you understand distances as well. And have a basic idea of your budget. Understand how much it might cost you for transportation, sightseeing, food, things like that. Of course, if you choose an escorted tour, those are pretty much built into a per day cost or a total package price. But if you're going on your own, you're going to want to have an overall budget to begin from. That'll help your travel professional as well. And then decide what area of Italy you'd like to see. Let's talk about passports and requirements for traveling to Italy. If you are a US or Canadian citizen, you do not need a visa to travel to Italy, but you do need a valid passport. And that passport must be valid for 6 months from the date of your trip return, or you may have a few problems with customs trying to leave the country. For more information on valid passports, US passports, visit travel.state.gov for more information. You may need what's called a Schengen visa. Schengen visa. And that's if you are a member of many different countries in the world. There's a huge list for people that require this specialized visa. You can find information on this Schengen visa on the ItalyForReal.com website. Go to ItalyForReal.com, go to the home page, go to the Italy information link, and on that page you'll see information on the Schengen visa. Allow at least 3 months for the Schengen visa process when planning your trip. When to go to Italy? Well, we get asked this quite a bit. And basic rule of thumb is spring and fall. Those are going to be the best times to see it. We're talking about April, May, June, early July. Then the heat starts to increase around the middle of July, and the heat lasts until about the 1st of September and breaks about the first week of September. And so that's another great time to visit as well, in the spring. Money saving. This is a very important thing when planning your trip to Italy, especially if you're coming from North America, where we have the furthest distance to travel. But one of the things that you can start doing now is tracking the euro dollar. Italy is underneath the euro dollar, and if you're coming from North America or even the UK, you're going to deal with an exchange rate. So instead of basically taking what exchange rate is given to you at the time of checkout, we suggest you now track the euro like a stock. Many people track their stock market portfolio online using a ticker on their screen. Well, you can do the same thing for the euro dollar and prepay your trip when the euro dips. So when the euro is very low, you can call up your travel provider and say, charge my trip right now, and take control of that fluctuation, okay? We want you to spend most of your dollars on accommodations and save the most on local items and services. Why do we recommend you spend the most on your accommodations? Because in Italy, we want you to be near a site, near the central part of the city, so that you don't have to depend upon public transportation or taxis to get around, which is a hassle factor and an extra expense. So spend a little bit more money on your accommodations and stay right in the center of town, where you can step out to wonderful sites like the Pantheon, the Trevi Fountain in Rome, or the St. Mark's Square in Venice, instead of having to use public transportation to get to and from those famous sites. Package your services. That's another way to save money. At ItalyForReal.com, we love packaging our services. And that's because we can save you a lot more money by packaging your car, your hotel, and your sightseeing into one bundle compared to a la carte purchases. This is the same way at many restaurants. If you go to some restaurants that are a la carte, you pay higher fees for each individual item compared to, say, the menu of the day. That's an example. You know, again, we're back to euro savings. And again, track the euro like a stock and prepay when it's lowest. One of the rules you're going to want to do when tracking the euro is add 2 or 3 cents to the price that you see online or in the paper for budgeting purposes only. That will take care of any fluctuations, daily fluctuations that the euro may have. And so you'll be in a good ballpark range for budgeting purposes. We like the currency exchange site called xe.com for instant currency conversions from the euro to almost every currency available. Stay tuned for lesson 2. Please download that. We'll continue on. When you do go to ItalyForReal.com, please be aware that we do escorted tours, custom trip planning, sightseeing, hotel and villa rentals, as well as car rentals and rail passes. Thanks for joining me. This is Rem Malloy from ItalyForReal.com. We'll see you next lesson.